Thanksgiving is the only holiday where millions of people wake up before the sun just to suffer a little bit before they feast a lot. And maybe that's why runners love it, because running, much like gratitude, is something you feel the most after you've earned it. This sport, it gives us moments that breaks us, rebuilds us, and reminds us we're alive. The miles aren't always kind, the training isn't always pretty, and no one's handing out medals for getting out of bed when it's dark and cold. Yet, we do it anyway. Because somewhere along the way, running stopped being just a hobby and became the language we use to understand who we are. So today, on a day built around appreciation, I want to celebrate the runners who pushed boundaries, shattered records, and proved what's possible when the human spirit refuses to quit. And I want to celebrate you for showing up, for trying, for choosing movement, even when motivation disappears, even when the legs hurt, even when you didn't believe in yourself. Cue that intro music. Welcome back to the Ostrich Running Podcast, the only running show bold enough to talk about ultras, turkey trots, and suffering in the same breath. If you're listening to this while you're standing in a massive clump of people waiting for your local 5K to start, God bless you. You've got elite runners in split shorts. You've got stroller moms and dads. You've got dogs dressed as pilgrims. I'm sure there's even a turkey somewhere out there. And there's that one guy who shows up every year running in jeans. Now, if that guy passes you, you're allowed to quit running forever. Those are the rules. I know you're probably out there with your family. They're so excited to either run with mom or dad, brother or sister, because they see how much you put in miles day after day, and this is finally their moment to get to do a little run with you. But here's what I ask you to do next. You go out there and you leave them all in the dust. You run as fast, become the king or queen of that local turkey trot, and you show them why you've been putting in the miles. Don't let them catch up. Don't let them catch a break. You push it to the limit and you get to the top of that turkey trot mountain. But in all seriousness, Thanksgiving is the most participated running day in America. Now, more people run on this morning than on New Year's, 4th of July, or any race weekend combined. So today we're diving into three things: recent ultra records that absolutely blew my mind, the biggest performances from 2025 so far, and the surprisingly wild history of turkey trots. But before we jump into this episode, let's hear from our sponsor, Ostrich Running. This episode is brought to you by Ostrich Salt, the electrolyte mix I built because every other one wrecked my stomach. Ostrich Salt is clean, simple, and built for real runners. Sea salt your body can absorb. Magnesium malate for real muscle support. Prickly pear antioxidants to help you with those long training loads and your immune system that may be compromised. Light, natural flavor, low sugar. No fake colors, no gimmicks, no junk. If you want hydration that actually works when the miles get long, head to ostrichrunning.com and grab some ostrich salt. Built for the run, made for the brave. Run scared. Now, 2025 has been absolutely nuts for the ultra running community, and we're going to dive into it now. Let's start with the desert heat assassin himself, Will Murray. His golden ticket performance at Black Canyon Ultra earned him a spot at Western States 100, where he placed fourth, just behind Hans Troyer. Well, at Javelina 100, he ran a 12-hour, 10-minute, and 12-second 100-mile race. Let me repeat that. 12 hours, 10 minutes for 100 miles. Now, that's not just fast, that's disrespectfully fast. He beat out previous course record holder David Roche his time by almost 30 minutes. Javelina isn't a gentle course. It's hot, exposed, dusty, and mentally brutal because of the loop format. Now that man didn't just break the course record, he obliterated it. Every lap he looked like he was on cruise control. Meanwhile, the rest of us average folks are out there hallucinating jackrabbits at mile 70. This performance didn't just set a record. It set a new standard for desert ultras. Alex Welsh from Wilmslow, Cheshire, his performance comes after he became the youngest ever winner of the Beyond the Ultimate Ice Ultra Marathon, where he raced over the Arctic tundra in Sweden in February. Just an absolutely incredible multi-day race. And this man finished it in 24 hours, just over a day. Absolutely incredible. And I believe we're going to see times dropping even more so in these really long multi-day races, especially in ones in those areas. Now, our next performance comes from Phil Gore, the Backyard Ultra King. If you don't believe me, just look at his Ultra sign-up results page. After 114 laps, 475 miles, and more than 4.5 days of running, Phil won the Big Dog Backyard Ultra. He's an Australian runner who outlasted the rest of the field in a race that featured pouring rain, heavy winds, and cool temperatures. Gore battled a competitive field but stayed strong throughout, with his fastest 4-mile loop of the race coming at lap 96, which was 35 minutes and 13 seconds. Let's just repeat that again. At lap 96, his 4-mile loop was 35 minutes and 13 seconds. That is absolutely incredible. And during that same race, Sarah Perry, she absolutely dominated the same ultra last man standing event with 95 laps. Now, backyard ultras, they humble everyone, but Perry delivered one of the most impressive female performances the sport has ever seen. Pure grit, pure heart, pure belief. Sarah Perry was the top women's finisher, running 95 laps, a total of 395 miles, to set a new women's record, and just edging out the incredible Megan Eckert. If you're looking for some crazy grit, look at these backyard ultra formats. These last man standing formats are incredible. I would love to be a part of one. Who knows if I would ever be able to be that last man standing. But the way it works is you must finish this loop within an hour's time and be the last person standing, and at least finish one more loop after the second place finisher in order for you to be considered the last man standing. Just a wild performance of endurance and mental fortitude that is really unmatched in a lot of these other sports. But could you imagine running almost 500 miles on the same loop course for several days in a row? You thought running on a treadmill gets bad? This has got to be insane. But I really love these style of these last man standing formats. And if you haven't seen them, I suggest you look into them, watch what these runners go through and how they perform through unbearable conditions of mental obstacles. Now, Lin Chen. Okay, this one hits home because I ran Kodiak 100. Now, what did Lin Chen do out there? Well, what she did was legendary. Now, Kodiak chews people up, the climbs, the altitudes, the technical terrain, especially at mile 90 when you're looking at some ski slopes that you need to ascend all the way up to the top of the mountain just when you thought all the climbing was done, especially after a big climb at Sugarloaf Mountain. It just keeps going up and down and up and down. But she didn't just win. She didn't just break the course record. She beat it by over 90 minutes. And this is coming off a tough DNF at Mont Blanc. This is a once-in-a-decade performance, the kind of run that becomes part of race mythology. She's an absolute legend, an absolute beast out there, setting new standards for women all across the world in the 100-mile race format. Now, this next one might have flown under the radar, but it deserves a spotlight. Caitriona Jennings at Tunnel Hill 100, she ran a blazing race with her final results of 12 hours, 37 minutes, and 4 seconds. Now, Tunnel Hill is known for fast times, but that doesn't make course records easy. Jennings ran with such smooth control, it almost didn't even look real. She's redefining what elite women's 100-mile fitness looks like. And what's crazier is that this looks to be her first 100-mile attempt. While the 100-mile distance may be a step up for Jennings, she is no stranger to ultra distances. She set the current Irish 50K record in February of 2025 at the Donadia 50K when she ran 3 hours and 16 minutes. A 50K in 3 hours and 16 minutes. I think a lot of us are trying to do sub 3:30 times for a marathon, and she's out there running over that in 3 hours and 16 minutes. Now, this event served as the Irish 50K National Championships, where she also holds the Irish 100K record with a time of 7 hours and 43 minutes. 62 miles in 7 hours and 43 minutes. I'm pretty sure that would even beat my 50-mile record by 5 hours. Absolutely incredible. In 2022, she won the IAU 50K European Championships, and she finished in the top 10 of the Comrades Marathon at least 4 times. And if you're not familiar with the Comrades Marathon, go back to one of our older episodes where we talk about the history of running. It's a beautiful race. What is perhaps the most impressive thing about Jennings' 100-mile run was her consistency. For nearly the first 80 miles, her pace never wavered more than a second or two away from 7 minutes and 26 seconds per mile. And after 80 miles, or about 10 hours of racing, her pace only slightly crept up. For the entire race, she was able to keep her pace below that of world record pace. Now, other notable performances, Hans Troyer, aka The Kid, he ran the second fastest time ever at the JFK 50 mile, finishing less than 2 minutes off the course record. Now, that race is historic. Every legend has ran it. To drop a performance that big on a course that old, that's the stuff that puts your name in the same breath as the greats. And his final time, 5 hours and 10 minutes, is absolutely incredible. Hans Troyer, The Kid, is still in there. You know, he had a lot of that buzz with his name just showing up into this ultra world out of nowhere. And you can see his name in some of these top races. He's up there with the best. You know, I only think that as time progresses in this sport with him, he's going to eventually find himself consistently finishing first or second. I mean, this kid is incredible. If you have a chance to go look a little bit more into that documentary, The Kid, you can see, you know, what he pushes himself through, how he feels about the sport. Absolutely incredible documentary, and I highly recommend you go and check it out. Now we're going to take another break for our second sponsor. This episode is also sponsored by Alethea Runs, the running sensor that shows you exactly when and how your form breaks down. Look, most of us don't need more guesswork. We need real data. Alethea tracks efficiency, variation, impact, braking forces, and sway. And it does it without you even noticing it's there. If you want to know what exactly happens to your form at mile 2, 20, or 80, get the sensor that gives you the truth. Visit alethea.run and use code RUNSCARED10 for a discount today. Train smarter, run stronger. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, turkey trots. Today, they're pure chaos, and I love it. You've got people in full turkey costumes, kids sprinting the first 200 meters like it's the Olympics, untrained runners in brand new shoes making life decisions at mile 2. Turkey trots are the great equalizer. The one day a year everyone pretends they train. But here's the crazy part. This whole tradition actually started over 125 years. So the very first turkey trot happened in Buffalo, New York in 1896. Yes, that's all we need is for Buffalo to have more bragging rights for starting something, right? Did you know that 8 runners signed up for this race and only 6 showed up? And 1 dropped out because they ate too heavy of a breakfast. And from that humble, hilarious little race, we now have the largest running day in America. Over 1 million people run a turkey trot every year. Think about that. This little race started a movement. I think we've all been there. We've all had our time at a turkey trot. Sometimes it's even been our introduction to the running world. I love it because I reminisce on a turkey trot that I did with my son a few years ago. And every year I get that little memory that pops up in the little video of him pushing through. He must have been 4 or 5 years old, and watching him just work through the mile after mile, so excited to finish at the end. Such a great day to be able to get out there with family and share miles. And I hope that you all get to go into your favorite turkey trot, your local turkey trot, a new turkey trot. If you haven't been around, just turkey trot. It's fun. It's all started from something with history that goes back over 125 years ago. And I think that it's probably got another 125 plus years of going, because it is the day that we earn all of those seconds and third helpings of turkey and mashed potatoes, greens, beans, potatoes, you name it. And as we wrap up today's episode, I just want to say this. Thanksgiving is about gratitude, not perfection, not speed, not PRs, not comparing who's the fittest. It's about being thankful for the miles we can run, for the people who keep us grounded, for the community that shows up for each other, whether you're running a turkey trot 5K or chasing a 100-mile finish. Running has a way of stripping life down to the essentials. When the legs hurt and the lungs burn, it reminds us that movement is a privilege, not a guarantee. And if you're listening to this, if you're out there training, trying, dreaming, failing, getting back up, I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being a part of this show, part of this journey, and part of the running world that keeps proving we're capable of more than we think. Enjoy the family, enjoy the food, enjoy whatever miles you run today, even if it's just around the kitchen table grabbing seconds. Until next time, stay hungry, stay grateful, and as always, run scared. Cue that outro music.